A small portion of this video is kindly sponsored by Sundays. I don't know about you, but the summertime for me, I just do not have the mental bandwidth nor really the time or energy with all that's going on to tackle big decluttering projects. As satisfying and gratifying as those can be, I'm actually a firm believer in the fact that small wins build up over time to create larger impacts in our home. So in today's video, I'm taking you along with me for a week, and we are working on 7 smaller decluttering projects. It'll feel so good to get these taken care of. I'm going to be sharing with you some encouragement and some gentle motivation along the way. We're starting here in the entry of our home. So right here next to our front door, when you walk in, I have this vintage chest of drawers. Each family member has a drawer. With Opie's drawer being on the bottom. We keep his leash in there that we take him out with multiple times a day. But the contents in here have kind of just been jamming up, and there are several things that are just in the wrong place, don't belong, or things that we actually have to get rid of. If you stand there, they can't even see what's in the drawer. This is something that is absolutely in the wrong drawer. I try to keep little mailer bags for if I need to make returns. Have a couple of socks. I know these are clean, they were just put in the wrong drawer. That goes in the boys' drawer. They share a collection of all black socks. Haley has all white socks. And apparently, Opie also has random socks in his drawer, because things do get shuffled around from time to time, just like any other household. That is styrofoam. That's actually hazardous to our dog. Another boy sock. Those go in the boy sock drawer. A broken pencil. It's a Weston sock. Paw cover that never actually fit Opie. We had a set of 4. We have only 1 left. Oh, there's the knob to this drawer. This is his old collar that no longer fits him. This is Opie's Christmas time collar. Look how cute that is. Definitely keeping that. This is an old hairbrush of mine that we were using for him until we got him an actual dog brush. I'm not keeping this. This is like a slicker brush that we use. American Kennel Club. I'll have to ask the kids, but I think they told me that this is the one. It's like a little kind of sweater for him. I think that's the one that's too small. There's another sock. And what do you know? This is going straight into the knife drawer. A couple of rolls of little poo-poo bags. Sometimes a good old Ziploc bag is all you need to organize something. That drawer is looking so much better. Now that we've had him for a year, I'm realizing what we do use and what we don't use. So I was able to take quite a bit out of this drawer. And it can definitely open and close easier. Of course, it squeaks a bit. Hello. Would you like to say hello to everyone? He's been doing so well with some of his little training stuff that we've been working on over the last year, and he is happier and healthier than ever, thanks to Sundays for Dogs. And thank you to them so much for sponsoring the next couple of minutes of this video. So my MO with most things in life is to try to find the root cause of an issue health-wise for our family members rather than just treat the symptoms. It was really clear to us early on when we first got Opie a year ago that he had some skin itchiness, a lot of discomfort in that area. He had some digestion issues. We were told by his vet and also his groomer that we needed to figure out what was going on. Otherwise, we would have to be buying creams, medications, and stuff for him to help combat those symptoms. It was wisely suggested to us by them that actually changing his diet might really help, because they knew that he had been for a while eating just traditional kibble, and they suggested that fresh or raw food would be the best diet for him. So I looked into the options, and let me tell you, the extra prep steps for some of these fancy fresh dog food, very specific handling, and the fridge or freezer space that it would take up just seemed like a lot. And then my research brought me to Sunday's Food for Dogs. I was a customer of theirs and such a believer in the brand before I ever got to partner with them. And it is such a blessing to be able to partner with a brand that I know and love. Sunday's Food for Dogs is like the best of both worlds because it packs that nutritional punch like fresh food does without all of the extra steps of handling. It is gently air dried food, so it's shelf stable. You just scoop and go like you would with kibble, but it is nutritionally complete, unlike kibble. And literally within days that we switched him over to Sunday's Food for Dogs, all of those really uncomfortable symptoms that he was dealing with, they basically disappeared. And I think he's actually eating right now. This was not planned. I swear this is just coincidence. He's literally eating his Sunday's Food for Dogs now. All of his nutritional needs are met and the root cause of those situations are taken care of with his diet, and I don't have to spend money on the other side helping him feel better and just kind of putting a band-aid on this situation. So if you would like to give your dog the gift of Sunday's Food for Dogs, then head to the link in my description box. It's sundaysfordogs.com/Natalie, and then you use code Natalie for 50% off your first order with them. Thanks so much to Sundays for sponsoring that portion of the video, for making free content possible on my channel this week, and for helping me help support my family. Today, we are headed to my uncle's wedding in the Rainier Valley. We've got lots of hours on the road ahead of us, and the last thing I want to do is sit in a messy van. I was telling Weston this yesterday, and he actually, bless his heart, went out and cleaned the whole van except the trunk. He got back here and said, holy moly, I have no idea what is going on. This is pretty much all from the school year. We're done with our school year. It's summer break, so I need to also make this trunk feel like it's summer break as well. This is the rolling tote that I took with me to our homeschool co-op group that ended in April. This does not need to be back here, and I actually need to go through that at another time. This folder, this is literally Easter choir music. This is the kids' piano lesson bag, which we had our last piano lesson for the summer a couple weeks ago, so that can get out of here. I'm gonna put these back in. We have a couple of outdoor blankets that we keep with us at all times. Oh my goodness, now we're getting to the good stuff. That's where it went. Opie's harness. I was looking for this in his drawer in the entry, and now I found it again. Okay, I'm putting that over there. There's Haley's Griffey jersey. Do you remember in the kids' closet declutter that I did, how I found my Ken Griffey Jr. jersey and she thought it was hers? This one is hers, which actually also used to be mine when I was a kid. She's going to be thrilled I found this. I'm gonna make a little pile of clothing because for whatever reason, end up with quite a collection back here. Clothing and shoes. These are all Haley shoes and they're all too small. So those can just go in a donate pile. Oh my gosh, I have been looking for this. We have a driveway edging project that we want to do. I keep trying to locate it and I realize I just kept it in the back of the van. This is going into my greenhouse. Got some random receipts and labels, just a lot of garbage. I should probably get a garbage bag. This is embarrassing. Like, are we using our trunk as a hamper and a trash bin? There is so much clothing and trash back here. Ew. Apple core, Baltimore. Kids actually don't prefer the little toothbrushes they get from the dentist. There's another brand we prefer. So that must have just been rolling around here since the last dentist visit. Please tell me I am not the only mom with stuff in her trunk still from the school year. Found my belt. I mean, just handfuls of stupid trash. This looks like an important piece. I found where it belongs. It goes on the back of this optional middle seat. The only things that I'm actually keeping back here, I have our pickleball set in case we go to the park. I have a roadside emergency kit, first aid kit, return that I still need to do, a few bottles of water. Oh, look at that. Apparently I also have a pear tomato. I just went to the nursery yesterday and bought some tomato starts, and I think this one fell off. A couple of my starts already had fruit on them. I also have a lot of debris from nursery pots in here. Weston still has yet to vacuum out the whole van after he cleaned out the rest of it before we head out on our little road trip today. So he's gonna do the vacuuming here in the trunk as well, but I've taken care of everything else, keeping the stuff I'm keeping. Oh, gonna put these outdoor blankets back in here as well. You know, I've been doing decluttering and the whole simple living thing for a long time. You might not know it by looking at any of these places that I'm decluttering with you today, but that's the thing. Life requires maintenance. It's not one and done. I've shared it so many times before on my channel. I like to keep it real with you guys. I don't want you to just assume that my house is always perfectly decluttered and tidy all the time, just because one time I went through it. It requires regular maintenance. And actually, I think this trunk situation shows that I need to be doing this area way more regularly than I am currently doing it. I should probably be doing this weekly or every couple of weeks, kind of like I do the fridge, which is actually the spot that I'm decluttering next with you all. I'm in there once a week and it makes it so it is not that bad. If I was in this spot once a week, it would be so much better. Still, this project, I've only been recording for 7 minutes. And if I wasn't talking with you through the process, it would probably take me half that. They don't call me Chatty Natty for nothing. I think when we haven't seen an area for a while, we feel like projects to declutter it are going to take so much longer than they actually do. It is well worth it for me to spend the 7 minutes that I did working on this because, oh my goodness, I have freed up so much space. I found things I was missing, cleared out junk and something potentially stinky with that rotting apple core, and now I have more space in my trunk for more tomato starts. Win-win. So would you all hold me accountable the next time I post a video on my channel, which subscribe and turn the bell on so you don't miss it? Would you comment, hey, have you cleaned out your van this week, Natalie? I love this community for the accountability and the encouragement. I love to give it back to you as well. So maybe you're thinking of a spot, maybe it's the trunk of your mom van or a junk drawer in your house or the top of your washer and dryer, wherever it is. Would you consider getting up and working on it throughout the rest of this video? We have more than half of the video left, so I think that's plenty of time to fix up a little spot, no matter how big or small in your house. And I will meet you for the fridge clean out tomorrow. It was a beautiful day yesterday. And it's so wonderful to see my uncle so happy. Congrats to the bride and groom. But now it's time to take care of this situation. We just got home from church. Weston is actually headed out to go do some Costco grocery shopping. So we're hungry. I'm in the middle of laundry, so you're gonna see random pieces of clothing over there on the floor. I've got leftovers from this week that we are having for lunch today for Sunday. This is a really delicious beef stew. I did a French onion beef stew with some mashed potatoes, and then we actually had dinner at a friend's house the other night, and she packaged up some leftover lasagna, which was also delicious. So that's an option for lunch as well. I have a couple of bags of cherries that my friend gave me. I'm going to pit them and freeze them. And I'm working on that project today, not in this video. So I'm actually gonna set this out over on my counter. That has already freed up so much space in here. Cheese grater actually goes here. A block of cheese goes here as well. Oh, I made a pasta salad the other day that we didn't really like. It didn't really turn out. Womp womp. You win some, you lose some. Salad kit doesn't even belong there. Are there egg shells in here? I guess we were just lazy last week and we didn't put our eggs in this little egg holder. It does help in this smaller style fridge. Have this one little organizational thing. I've had this for years and it works a lot better than trying to find a spot for a carton. I actually get eggs almost every week from a friend of mine who has chickens, and she doesn't wash them, so they can actually stay on the kitchen counter for up to 3 weeks. We consume them before then, but I do keep a backup of store-bought eggs in case, you know, something happens to her chickens, like it happened to ours. Rest in peace, hen, chicken nugget, Oreo, and Boo. Gotten questions like, are you gonna get chickens again? At this point, I'd rather buy eggs from a friend than be a chicken tender. You live and you learn. I'm not saying never, but just not right now. Another bagged salad kit, so I need to remind Weston to not pick up another one of these when he goes to Costco today. So we have plenty. Pickles belong up here. We can also eat, I've got some ground beef. Oh, and some spaghetti sauce and some pasta. So we can also eat this for lunch. Here's the pasta. Kimchi at the top. Okay, I think there's only one little ball of burrata cheese in here. We almost ate the whole thing. And probably if we weren't gone all day yesterday, we would have. But this is now past its date. I actually shared a really delicious cherry balsamic burrata cheese dish that I made for our anniversary dinner that we did with the kids in a recent Patreon video that just went up over there. So if you would like to see that one, I will leave my Patreon linked in the description box. It's just patreon.com/Natalie Bennett. I post extra content over there. So stuff that I don't really post over on this channel, videos that don't quite do well for the YouTube algorithm, but it's still interests that I have, stuff that I enjoy sharing, stuff that I enjoy doing. It's more casual over there and we have a lot of fun. I say it's algorithm free for me, ad free for you, because I don't have any sponsors over there. I don't run ads on those Patreon exclusive videos. I've been doing it for 2 years now and I have close to 60 videos over there, and the first month you subscribe, you unlock everything that I've ever posted, not just that 1 month's worth of content. So I hope to see you over there. It's just $5 a month for the price of a Starbucks run. We get to hang out a little bit more and I get to share some extras with you. Ooh, I don't know what this is from. I know this is more than 2 weeks old because my garden is now producing yellow and green zucchini, and I know this is store-bought, and oh, it's so slimy, gross. Honestly, finding gross, rotten, slimy stuff like that does not happen very often because we are cleaning out and resetting and decluttering and wiping down this fridge weekly. Kind of like I was saying yesterday with cleaning out the trunk of the van, if I make a non-negotiable date with myself to get this space under control, it gets reset in a snap. Okay, that's the fridge done. So there you go. See you tomorrow. The top of our washer and dryer has been staring me down for a few days, and after we were done playing in the sun and doing some garden time and splashing in the kiddie pool, I knew I just wanted to quickly take care of this. I've talked before on my channel about peacifying our homes, and that's really what I feel like resetting this specific spot does for my brain. It's amazing how just a few minutes, I think this whole project took me under 5 minutes, can add so much peace to my brain, especially in a spot that I access every day, multiple times a day. Oh my goodness, I feel like I can breathe now walking into this room. A computer work day today. Lots of emails to send, lots of editing to do. You might notice that I have put my editing computer workstation here at this desk in our schoolroom. We're working on stuff in my office, so I needed a new space to make the magic happen, but not much magic can happen with this much clutter on the work surface. Coffee cup, of course. I was working on my Sundays little sponsored portion. This is literally my makeshift tripod. A mason jar of dog treats with a glass coffee cup on it, and I set my camera right here, and this is where I talk to you sometimes. This random inside out quince sweater, making a pile on this chair that needs to go back to my bedroom. I was eating cherries over here. These are actually still good, and I have a bowl of cherry pits. Oh look, a cutting board. Sometimes I sit here and do my makeup. When I do, I just get this little folding mirror out and I actually put it up there with the books on the bookshelf. Some essential oils, my friend's wedding invitation. Ooh, Haley, Felicity and Elizabeth book set over here. Could you come grab it and put it back in your room, please? This is where I do all of my accounting and bookkeeping and tax stuff and all of that. So I just keep a little folder here. I have a very simple system for paper clutter. If it's an important piece of mail that I need to address immediately, whether I'm able to like pay a bill immediately or not, I actually will take it from the mailbox, or when Weston brings the mail in, set it on my keyboard. I've been doing this for years. It is the only way I can get my ADHD brain to really recognize what's going on. If I block my path to my workflow, it forces me to address it. Either go pay that bill, respond to the letter, get someone's attention for whatever it is that I need. And then when that is done and processed, I take it to my like physical actual file, things that are kind of in a holding pattern while I'm waiting for something to process or whatever. I need to keep it on hand to reference it. It goes into this little folder that just sits on my desk at all times. A few of these spots that I'm decluttering in this video I'm noticing are personal, like Natalie's desk, the trunk of Natalie's van, my homeschool rolling cart, teacher cart that we will get to later on in this video. I'm not going to do it in this video, but I need to declutter my makeup bag. My purse could use a good declutter. I feel like sometimes as moms, we will prioritize for the common areas, the fridge, the kitchen table, the family bathroom, you know, that sort of thing, before we'll work on the stuff that we really use regularly. Yet it makes such a difference for my brain and my workflow and my bandwidth if my personal only mom uses areas are under control. And I think we're seeing a theme here that those regular decluttering sessions really do make such a difference. I'm about to do some editing, so I'm going to pop those blue light glasses up here. I was planting in the garden today and threw a bunch of radish seed packets. I took them out of my pocket and now I need to take them back to the greenhouse. I have my coffee cup just sitting here and the coaster that it's supposed to go on in a different spot. So now those are matched up. A good wipe down is decluttering's best friend. So now that this is all straightened out and taken care of, I'm gonna wipe it down. I now have a nice reset workspace. Yes, I still have the dog food bag over here. I'm gonna use some of the facts and verbiage here to help me write my Sunday script, which you've already seen earlier in the video, if you didn't skip through it. Did you know that watching all the way through the sponsorship, even if you're not able to click on the link or purchase from the brand that I'm working with, helps my channel out? So I appreciate it very much when you watch through those sponsorships. But for now, it's time to get to work here on my computer, and it feels so much better having spent just a few minutes clearing off this surface, doing some decluttering, wiping it down, and resetting this space so that I can be my most productive self. Hello, hello. We are finding ourselves back in our utility room. And I am happy to report that the washer and dryer surface has remained decluttered. It is feeling quite peaceful over here on this side, like I was saying, but I feel like with how good this half of the room looks, the pantry side of things now looks even worse. At the risk of sounding like a broken record, this is yet another space that needs regular decluttering. It can get this bad within a matter of days, so this is absolutely at least a weekly reset that needs to happen. So let's do that now. I will feel so much better walking into this room having both sides taken care of. I would actually consider this a pretty small decluttering project because most of it is actually staying. It just needs to be straightened up and old packaging needs to be taken out. However, the scale of this half of the room is what makes me feel like it's overwhelming. And you know my trick for when something feels overwhelming? Set a timer. The laundry side of this room took me only 5 minutes to declutter and straighten up the other day. This side feels like it'll probably take me longer, but I am going to set just a 5-minute timer to keep track of how long it actually takes me. How long do you think this side of the room will take me? I swear my home runs on the magic of a 5-minute timer. When I am overwhelmed with any sort of task or I just want an extra boost to get me going, Putting a 5-minute timer on my phone really helps me keep track of where I am, keep track of how long I've been working, make me feel like I can actually get it done and that it's not going to take all day and all of my time and energy. I feel like time looks different in my brain and how I perceive it than what it physically does take up in my life. So I am able to accomplish so much more with the power of a 5-minute timer. If you'd like to hear more about this, I actually shared in detail in another video how I like to utilize timers and how the magic of 5 minutes can make such a difference in your home. So I will have that video linked in the description box. It's also up here in the info cards of this video. Much better. This is definitely not an aesthetic pantry, but it's functional, especially when we are keeping up with decluttering out the old packaging. We hardly have any waste anymore. We have really dialed in our shopping, our cooking and meal planning, and our consumption of what we have. Literally the only food products that I tossed today was 2 English muffins that were kind of forgotten under here and they got stale, and 3 mini potatoes that look like I should probably just go plant them in my garden. 5 minutes down and we are looking a whole lot tidier. I now know what I'm making for dinner tonight too. I have a bunch of butter beans over here, and despite it being over 90 degrees outside, the kids have requested some sort of soup or stew. The kids are just like me. For whatever reason, mid-July hits and we are ready for cozy season, almost like a reprieve from how hot and sunny it is outside. So I think I'm gonna make like a Tuscan butter bean something or other. Maybe we'll dip crusty bread in it. That sounds really good. And thanks to the decluttering, I now see what my stock is. We've got more grocery shopping to do, so I can add things to my list, keep things straight, move this packaging out of here. Here's my decluttering pile of what I found, and on to the 7th and final decluttering project. Bonus declutter! I had a minute today while my lip stain was setting to straighten up and declutter this piano area. My guitar teacher was actually on his way, and I thought that this vase of dead peonies just didn't do much to solidify my image of being a very serious musician. So those had to go, along with other odds and ends. This is kind of a spot where we will randomly throw things when we don't have the time to put something away. So several items just needed to go back to their rightful homes. You know, I did a good wipe down and this spot was looking so much better in a snap. And now my guitar lesson is over and it is time to do this rolling teacher tote that I take to our homeschool co-op, which, as I mentioned before, is on break for the summer, although you wouldn't really be able to tell that today is summer. Yesterday was 95 degrees outside. Today it's 65 degrees and raining. But like I was saying yesterday, I don't mind having a cozy reprieve from the summer heat. I've got that little tote full of random resources and things that I have specifically for our homeschool co-op. I'm actually one of the coordinators. I'm on kind of the steering committee. I have a bunch of stuff in here though that I just kind of shoved in this bin while I was working on different projects around our co-op. I have a bunch of hanging file folders, which I need for a different project in our schoolroom. It looks like we brought a kiddo's raincoat with us. Have another t-shirt. This is actually probably something that ended up in here from just stuff that we were throwing around in the trunk of our van. Ooh, little travel hairbrush, mostly with Haley hair in it. This is my little clipboard that I use, which actually it doesn't belong to me. This belongs to the church where we hold our co-op. But most weeks I run the opening time. We have like a morning chapel time. Someone at our co-op made and laminated bookmarks and we're giving them away. A nice pen. This is one of those fancy gel ink pens. I don't think I bought it. I think it made its way into this. One of the kids on the last day left their name tag. I retrieved it and we're gonna recycle this for our next semester's name tags. I'm actually gonna put that back into here. Might as well throw my clipboard and my hairbrush. I like to have one with me at all times because I actually have a co-op committee meeting that I'm going to tonight because we are in the process of planning for the fall. Is that a word that I can say yet on my channel this year? I absolutely love the summertime with my kids, and I'm all about really living in the moment and taking advantage of the season that we are in. And part of that for me is doing just a bit of prep and having some forethought for what is on the horizon. No, I am not starting fall content yet over here, do not worry. But depending on where you find yourself and what life stage you're in, sometimes you do need to, in mid-July, start thinking about September right around the corner. If myself and the other committee members for our co-op were not working right now to prepare for the school year, September would roll around and we would be in hot water. There is a lot of work to do between now and then, so we've got to get started now. And I'm feeling really good with having this tote cleaned out, reset, ready to go for the new school year and for the prep that needs to happen before that new school year arrives. I would love to know in the comments, when do you start prepping for the autumn? As a homeschool mom, it definitely needs to start pretty early for me, for my mental health, if nothing else. And staying on top of things throughout the summer really helps me. It's been so great to do this simple summer series with you all over the last several weeks as we've been continuing to declutter and simplify our homes. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it gave you some encouragement that you're not alone, number one, if you get overwhelmed by decluttering jobs. I hope you also got some encouragement here that it's not all or nothing. You don't have to tackle these big, satisfying decluttering projects. Little by little is better than nothing at all. Progress over perfection, and really those smaller tasks, they do add up over time. My house is feeling so much more peaceful than it was 1 week ago, and I didn't do these major, huge clean out declutters. I just went to a few key areas each day. I worked for less than 10 minutes each day. I think the longest project I did was the fridge, and still that probably only took me 7 or 8 minutes to clean out. The trunk of my van is feeling so much better. Doing the daily laundry goes smoother with that clutter taken care of. Doing the meal prep and planning with the fridge and the pantry taken care of. It's even been easier for us to take the puppy out to go potty when we don't have to rifle through things in that drawer. In a few minutes here, I'm gonna load this footage into my computer and I won't be dealing with clutter on my desk later tonight. I'm headed out with my teacher tote to work on planning for the fall, and I did not have to spend copious amounts of time and energy accomplishing this simplification, and I hope you enjoyed coming along with me today. It was so nice to have your company. I hope you're having a wonderful day wherever you are. Thanks so much for spending a little part of it here with me on my channel, and I'll catch you later.